DC here. Hi, guys and gals. It is Thursday, and I hope you're well. It's been a challenging week up to now. Mrs. DC has COVID. I'm probably have slightly better antibodies or what, so I'm coughing a bit, but no, I'm coughing a fair bit, but nothing like she is. You see, a little bit like that. Well, she has that typical horrible COVID cough, that really gets you and chokes you and so on. But yeah, I guess it's just one of those things. So I mean, it's like the second time around, so it's still here. Yeah. Anyway, so I won't ponder on that, but just saying that it's it is a pain. But I'm out walking. She's home resting right now. I was listening to a podcast. Was it probably early this week or late last week? I don't quite remember anymore. But it was going on about people who are self-righteous and humble and so on. And actually, the thing is that it's one of those topics that it's one of those topics, that are very difficult to write about, because in a way, we all have a tendency to be self-righteous, even though we try maybe not to be. But it's so difficult also to write about it, or even to vlog about it, because as soon as you start touching on that subject, very often you will be self-righteous or very much condescending towards people. And I do realize, that many of us who vlog, and I'm of course including myself, we will talk about our life, but we also, tend to give our opinions. And usually if it's our opinion, we think it's right, don't we? I'm not saying, that, I know by myself that I have changed opinions over subjects, on subjects over the years. My political views have considerably changed over the years and things like that. But, it's one of those things, is it, am I being self-righteous when I'm saying that? Am I being condescending towards others? And then, of course, there's that whole subject of humility. As soon as you try to be humble, you aren't anymore most of the time. Yeah. I remember when I was, in university years and my first professional years, thinking, I've gone to this and this school. I have done this, and I should know about life. And realizing, as time passes, I knew nothing. Everything was to learn. And I think that's one of the main things that one can learn in life, is that, you're always in a learning process. There's always something that you could, improve on. There's always somebody that's better than you at something, and so on. Condescending, though, is something that is rather difficult, I find. When I say condescending, it's rather difficult because, there's so many people that I read up on or stuff like that, that have views that I consider completely false. And it's very difficult, to have the feeling, if only they knew, and things like that. There's so much that we can learn from people, even the ones that we don't agree with. Yeah, it's a touchy topic. I was listening to the person talk about it, and as he was saying, he says it's one of the most difficult topics to talk about, because you fall into it as soon as you start talking about it very often. Yeah. I was thinking when sometimes I look at families, and I know that, like, for example, my family on my dad's side, they come from a very modest background. And there was always this search from my dad to my uncles, and it came down to us, and it was very hard to try and get rid of that, it's not a question of trying to be the best. It's kind of like proving that even though people don't think you are, that you are one of the best, something like that. It's a difficult thing to explain in a way. I sometimes call it, that proverbial chip on the shoulder. That you try and get rid of it or something like that, but it's always there. It seems. Yeah. Anyway, maybe you can tell me what you think about it. I'm not going to vlog much longer. I'll probably go and continue my walk now. And I hope you've had a good Thursday up to now. So yeah, and have a great day. Okay, DC signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.